On. Hello, everybody. Hello, Paula. Hello. All right, we are recording. So everybody remember that. If you have a question you want to ask, you're more than welcome to turn on your video, use your voice. Just know that these are recorded and will be posted to YouTube. You can also type in the chat. Just make sure that when you type in the chat, it's either going to everybody or to the person that you're wanting it to go to. If you put it in the everybody, then everybody can type and respond as well. And before we get started, I'm just going to invite us all to just take one deep breath, just because, breathing is great. We need it. So in through your nose and then out through your nose, really deep. And that breath, one of my, I want to say he's my favorite teacher, but I can't remember his name right now. But I really appreciate what he teaches on like speaking and communicating with people. It's crazy. I'm forgetting his name. But, anyways, he's a trial lawyer. But one of his best pieces of advice is let your first word be your breath. So, when you're communicating with people, when you're in a conversation, if somebody says something to you or asks you a question, take that time to just breathe first. Let that first word be your breath. I am going to ask everybody to keep your microphones muted unless you want to ask a question. That way we eliminate all outside noise and distraction. What else? So these spaces, these live Q&As, I love these so much. I'm so grateful to see so many familiar faces. So grateful to see the new people in here. Thank you for joining. The purpose of these spaces is to create an environment where we can ask questions. I'm really big on asking questions, questioning everything. Why do we do what we do? Why do we believe what we believe? Why do we think what we think? What are we eating? What is this? Do I know what it is? Do I know what's in it? Do I know what it's made out of? Do I know how it's going to affect my body? What do I know about my body? How is my body working? How is my body taking this and turning it into energy? That's crazy. So this is a community space. I am not here to just talk at you guys. We have an hour and a half. We could be here as long or as short as we'd like. But I want to engage. I want to encourage you to be brave enough to ask some questions, okay? And I'm going to offer my perspective. And once I offer my perspective, I want to open the floor to offer that everybody can offer their perspective. We're all here to learn from each other, okay? Jefferson Fisher, thank you for that. Natalie coming through. Thank you. I love Jefferson Fisher. Not enough to remember his name, but whatever. Hello, Barbara. Thank you for joining. All right, everybody, who wants to go first? Who wants to ask the first question? Can be anything or everything related to health, wellness, herbs, plants, lifestyle, spirituality. We can go as deep as we want in here.
Can I ask a question?
All right.
All right. So I I used to do the like if I eat something, I don't drink anything for 2 hours to help the digestion, and then between eating and then eating again, I usually leave between like 3 to 5 hour space for the food to get out of the stomach. So, but there also like I read, you should actually drink some warm lemon water 10 minutes before you eat to get the juices flowing. So if I drink something, usually 30 minutes prior before I eat, what kind of 10 minutes?
Hold on one moment, Tina. If everybody will mute your microphones, I'm gonna, yeah, just mute your microphones, guys. Otherwise, I'll have to mute them. All right, Tina. There we go. Dwayne, I'm gonna mute you. I love you. Let's see who else. Michelle, I'm gonna mute you. If you guys can't unmute yourself, just leave a message, leave a chat, and I will unmute you. So, all right, Tina. So, all right, where you left off. So, you'll usually drink about 30 minutes before something warm.
Sure. And then I was reading you should really drink warm lemon water 10 minutes prior to eating for the digestion, but that the 30 minutes would be better. And then eat, and then don't drink for 2 hours for the digestion, and then don't eat for 3 to 5 hours for the next meal.
I think that you're on the right path here. I think 2 hours is a little too much, but it is really important. I'm really glad that you asked that question because we really should not be drinking fluids while we are eating food. And a lot of people do. They'll drink whole beers while they eat their food. And what that does is it compromises your stomach acid, especially, like water too. Beer's a little more acidic, so that can help. Um, I do like the idea of something hot and something acidic like lemon water before 30 minutes before. I would prefer 30 minutes before, even 20 minutes before. 10 minutes is still pretty close. And then I do the same thing. And it's kind of weird to people too. They're always surprised, like I don't want anything to drink with my food. And again, because you're compromising your stomach acid, you compromise your stomach acid, and it makes it harder for your body to break down the food. When you water down the acid that helps to break down your food, your body then, as it's digesting, has to work harder to create more acid to break down that food. So yeah, I recommend people try to avoid drinking 30 minutes before you eat. And if you do drink, something like hot lemon water is fantastic. Sometimes I have people take tinctures of bitters like fennel and anise and orange bitters like 15 minutes before they start their meal if they already have a sluggish digestive system and have a hard time breaking down food. Having them take that shot 15 minutes, it kickstarts. And yeah, lemon water's doing that. It's kickstarting the gallbladder and the liver and helping to release the bile to break down the fats and the proteins. So that's what I think. And then I don't think you need to wait 2 hours after your meal, but I would wait at least 30 minutes. So at least 30 minutes before and after each meal, avoid drinking large amounts of fluid. Natalie, you are muted. Yep. Hello, Barbara. All right. What's the next question? Unless anybody wants to add to that.
Well, obviously, since I'm the newbie, maybe I should ask more questions unless somebody else.
Hey, let's go. Someone's got to do it, right? I'm not talking at you guys tonight. This is a community space. We all get involved, we all contribute, ask questions. So, and if you don't want to get online and do it, then just type it in. Amy says, is cinnamon good to add to hot water? I don't see why not. I add it to my French press when I make my coffee. I grind the beans fresh, I grind the cinnamon, and I add both of those into the French press before I add the hot water. And that helps to normalize and stabilize blood sugar levels with your coffee. It adds a great taste. It's loaded with antioxidants. And again, almost everything, what I love about heat, which there aren't many things like marshmallow root. You want to, if you're looking for that thick, demulcent, hydrating quality, then you would want to use cold water. But for the most part, with most medicine, you want heat and water. And when you drink that medicine in hot water, that heat, because again, your body, right, has to work. Heat is life. Your digestive system has to heat up to be able to extract and utilize the medicine, whether it's from your food or herbs or whatever. So by drinking a hot beverage, your body doesn't have to heat up to absorb those nutrients. That hot water helps to relax the cell walls, the membranes, absorb the nutrients and use them better. We need heat for all of the cellular and metabolic processes too. So heat is life. Of course, nothing is absolute. I'm pretty big on hot, but here in Florida, in the middle of August, when I've been outside all day and I'm overheated, I will drink a glass of ice water. But in January or February, I'm not going to drink a glass of ice water. I also really recommend that we make our smoothies with hot water. Smoothies are really have the potential to be so healthy and so hydrating, but the problem lies is when you drink an ice cold or a cold smoothie, it's like you're just dropping a cold smoothie on that fire that is your digestive system, especially if you're using frozen berries. It's completely fine if you can take your fruit out of the fridge, let it get to room temperature, use room temperature water, that's fine. But if you're pulling berries out of the freezer like I do, it's more affordable that way. You can get more, it saves space. They don't go bad as fast if you don't eat them. And I just get the kettle going with hot water, pour it in there, and it helps take the load off of my body and makes it easier to digest. Great question. All
I
right,
have,
Tina. Oh, Victoria,
yeah.
do you have a question?
Uh,
No?
I yeah, do. Depression protection.
All right.
Cameron, I do. This is Paula.
Hey, Paula.
Hey. So first of all, thank you, Cameron. I met you last week and I got the magnesium and I also got that you sent me the liquid Zen. Thank you for all those beauty things. I have been starting to using them. And that's related part of like my question. Lately I have, well, not lately, like over a year, is I feel like it's a lot of anxiety. And how it manifests for me is like thoughts. It's like I cannot stop, but it goes to a point like it's just, it turns to negative or the worst case scenario. So I have been trying to do like a meditation, some tapping. Sometimes when I can also do like a ice bath to help with that. But and I also started to use your products. What are other yeah, I'm open to you and other in the community techniques that can help me with that.
Yeah. So a few things with that liquid Zen, when I tapped it, I was like, what do I want to send this woman? It was the liquid Zen. And the liquid Zen is incredible for anxiety that is in your head. You just can't get out of your head. So, but I want you to feel free. Like I'm going to show you. I keep my liquid Zen in this. This is what I keep and then I pour some water in a cup and I take the lid off and I pour. It's like a drink. And once you get to know it, like start with one full dropper, get to know it, but then do not hesitate to take 5, 6 whole droppers. Don't hesitate to take that dropper out and pour from the bottle. They're really safe herbs. And what those do is they take you out of your head down into your body. But then sometimes if we've spent a lot of time cerebral in our heads, our body is tense and we're not even breathing. So then when we do drop down out of our head into our body, it hurts because we haven't been connected with it. So that formula helps to relax the muscles, increase circulation, and the other herb in there, so it's blue vervain is the one that's taking you out of your head. Damiana is the one that's relaxing your muscles, and the meadowsweet is helping to relieve systemic inflammation. So definitely feel free to use that as much as possible, but also super important, especially
Signs your
for,
knees are starving for magnesium. One,
say that again?
That was someone else.
I know. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna mute them. Um, and they did, yep. I'm always going to get to magnesium. You could bet on that. So, but hydration too. Hydration, especially for women, especially for high voltage, strong women. We need a lot of, we are, and so many of you have heard this so many times. I love you so much, but we're hydroelectric beings, water and electricity, and then minerals like magnesium. All minerals are important. I do think magnesium is up there, top tier, so important. These minerals are like spark plugs in the body to help keep that electrical flow going. But if you're dehydrated, which most people are, it's really challenging to drink the amount of water that we need to drink with the toxins we're exposed to, the daily stressors, just breathing. We breathe. We need like a quart of water just to breathe every day, let alone all of the other processes. So I do my best to try to drink 3 or 4 of these a day. It's about a quart. And I put some sea salts in every one and drink those, tea, your tinctures, And then there's, one of my favorite easy breathing techniques that you can do. And I'm going to open the floor in a moment for other people to make suggestions if you have some, but it's called box breathing. And it's really simple. You breathe in through your nose for a count of 4 seconds, hold your breath at the top for 4 seconds, breathe out through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds. And you repeat that for about 3 to 5 minutes, and it helps to shut off that fight or flight response, helps to lower cortisol, and starts to help to regulate your nervous system. Make sure that magnesium oil that you got, that you're putting it all over top and bottom of your feet every night before bed. Make sure you go read that article that I told you about on the website. Just type in magnesium so you can also use it during the day, but there are certain things you need to know about that are in there. And then what's up? Anybody else have some recommendations? Tina
At
says
what time do you recommend taking the liquid Zen?
you can take it at any time of the day. When I take it during the day, I take a little lower doses, maybe like 2 to 3 full droppers. And the thing about the liquids in, you can dose it every 2 to 3 hours if you want. So if you want to take smaller doses during the day and dose periodically, that's fine. And then towards the end of the evening, that's when I kind of up the dose because I can really relax.
Okay.
Tina said, laughter yoga helps me when the monkeys do cartwheels in my head. Yep. Stretching is so important because, again, so many of us, we're so stressed. We're just walking around like this. And all of our muscles, tissues, tendons, fascia just get real tight, and blood can't flow, electricity and water can't flow, nutrients can't flow. So I do recommend, even if it's micro stretching, where okay, you're doing some laundry, right? And you can stand there for 2 minutes and stretch your legs. Make sure you can touch your toes, pull your leg up. You're at the sink doing dishes. You can do some back stretches. And there are a lot of really good YouTube videos, and you can just look it up, like daily micro stretches. And then you can start to incorporate little stretches throughout the day while you're doing stuff. You're out at the park with the kids, and when you're not on the call, you can stand there and do some stretches. And that will just help to relax that tension and bring flow. And I will say at first, especially if you're not a stretcher and you haven't stretched much, it can be uncomfortable because you are kind of everything's been so tense. So you're letting that go, stagnation gets moving, tissue has to repair. But the more that you do it, the less it will be uncomfortable and the better your body will feel. Anybody else want to add? Oh my gosh, Gloria, how did I not even mention that? Gloria made a great, she said massage can help release emotional tension. Massage is life. I have to get a massage at least twice a month, but on a regular basis, I get one a week. And it's not like a treat. I have to. I work 7 days a week. I work 12-hour days. I do a lot. I've got to take care of my body. And if it wasn't for all of the massage therapists that I have in my life, I don't know that I'd be able to function. So even if you can only do one every month or one every 6 weeks, that is an hour to 90 minutes that you are on a table, no kids, no phones, no technology, nothing. And somebody is just going in and helping to relieve that tension for you. Thanks for that, Gloria. If she lived here, Gloria, I would link you two up, but she doesn't. Let's see. Yep, Valerie said magnesium spray on feet. Yep. And that every night, by doing that every night, you're helping to refill your magnesium reserves. So many people are deficient in magnesium for many reasons. We don't get it from our food like we used to. Magnesium binds to toxins, and we're exposed to all of these artificial fragrances and chemicals and things like that. That magnesium's trying to get all of that out, that it can't do all the other jobs that it has to do. So by using that every night generously, you're helping to restore that. I also recommend the magnesium glycinate capsules from Pure Encapsulations. I take one of those twice a day. And on my really sore days, because I do weightlifting, I'll take two twice a day. And you can take them both together. The magnesium chloride that you spray on your feet is going to help to absorb the magnesium glycinate and all your other vitamins and minerals really well. So magnesium, super, super important. Thank you for that, Valerie.
Is there ever too much magnesium?
Yes. So especially with like magnesium citrate and some of these other forms of magnesium, it can cause diarrhea. But a lot of those are kind of going more towards your kidneys. Glycinate and chloride are absorbed. Like glycinate's absorbed by the muscles. The muscles need that. So it's not going to the digestive tissue as much. Magnesium chloride, it's so topical. It's going in that local area where you put it and then into the bloodstream. And then with the magnesium chloride, your body has these innate abilities to be able to detect it and then send it where it needs to go. Like for instance, heart disease, so much of it is from a magnesium deficiency. The left ventricle that pumps the blood to the rest of your body needs more magnesium than anywhere else. And if you're low and you spray that magnesium on your feet and that left ventricle is in critical condition, there's these innate systems in our body that then send it to the left ventricle. It's really cool. But again, with the other forms, they're more on the digestive tract. You can get diarrhea. Same with potassium. I have this liquid potassium supplement that I put in my water with my calcium and magnesium, and I don't usually measure stuff, but I have to measure the potassium because if even a little bit more than what's supposed to be, diarrhea. That was a
Do you,
great question.
do you have any like herbal salves or balms for massage therapy? Because I'm looking for something that's like nutrient dense for the joints because I do medical massage. So I'm looking for something that I can like drive into the joints.
I can give you a formula. And
Okay.
what I like about instead of salves for massage, I like oils and I like using olive oil because it's hypoallergenic. So you don't have to worry about anybody being allergic to the oil itself. Now,
Right.
maybe the herbs, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
I do.
Solomon seal is incredible. And you massage that in. And then you always like if you mix it with some arnica, arnica is going to really draw it down into the system, into the blood. Ginger, heat stimulates that heat. Cayenne pepper can be too much, but maybe a little dash doesn't hurt. Um, so we've got, and then we want some minerals, right? You could use nettle root, nettle leaf. Um, so what else do I put? My wild yam. I really like wild yam because like for instance, wild yam thickens and strengthens the lining of the uterus. That's a type of tissue. And we have that type of tissue all over the body. So it helps kind of just strengthen and thicken those kind of like mucosal linings, you know? Um, so arnica, Solomon seal, ginger, wild yam, but we do have to be careful with wild yam right now because it's popped off as the next best thing since sliced bread for women's hormones. And so now we've overconsumed it and it's actually at risk for being endangered now because we overconsumed this once invasive plant is now almost endangered. So you don't Solomon seal will work. Comfrey root, literally, it especially like if they have tears, and as we tear, as we stretch, as we work out, comfrey root helps with cell proliferation, helps to repair those tears a lot quicker. And it's the root you want for that, not the leaf. What else? Yarrow. I always like yarrow because it really, again, just helps. We always want to think stimulation, dilation, and stimulation, and yarrow is great for that. Yeah, great question.
Thank you.
Let's see. If you don't go to massage therapists, any good pressure points for self-massage? Gloria, can you answer that?
So I mean, you have to like be in your body and feel your body. So if you can do your regular stretches and you can use tennis balls and you can put them on your back. Your thumb points, you can press on your thumb points. There's a couple different techniques that you can do to your own body. Yeah, thank you. Um, it's it's really just being in tune with your own body and starting to move the flow of the move it towards the heart. Here, you can talk now.
Yeah, gotcha. But no, that was a great question. Like, really tune into your body. Where do you feel the pain? Does it start somewhere and radiate down, and then try to find that initiation point and rub into it. What I also love, I'm glad you mentioned the tennis balls because those are great. You can go up against a wall with the tennis ball and just kind of rub up and down, and it's going to get in between the shoulder blades. But on your feet, you can use a golf ball. And I recommend to be sitting down Put the golf ball on something soft like carpet or a mat or a rug and just control the pressure. You don't want to go too deep and hurt yourself, but you can use a golf ball on the bottom of your foot. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. Your temples, you can rub your temples behind your ears are a good spot and like right there in your jaw. A lot of us hold tension in our jaw. Now, once you start getting under here, you want to remember there's lymph nodes. So not too much pressure, but just enough to stimulate some flow. Like Gloria said, your thumbs right here, that's a good spot. Like mine hurt. Oh yeah, that's good. Things like that. Tune into your body. Let's
I
see.
massage therapist though.
Say that again?
Highly recommend a massage therapist because
Yeah.
they'll do your whole body, and then you'll be more in tune whenever you go to massage yourself because you'll feel those points that you need.
Yep. And honestly, save up. For the most part, you're going to find a massage therapist that'll see you for 100 to 120 bucks. And it's worth at least one session to then go. Pay attention to how they're touching your body, what you feel, your sensations, and then remember that. And if that's not something you can do regularly, you can start doing it to yourself. Amy said, your thoughts on ginger paste? I think it's great. It's just what's the paste made out of, right? Is it just ginger made into a paste? Are there other ingredients to keep that paste together? So as pure as possible, but ginger's great for almost everybody, but especially at this time of the year where it's cold, like really cold. I actually was listening to some of my teachers today, and they were talking about the amount of people that have heart attacks while shoveling snow. And one of the reasons is well, one, they're cold. They don't do like a warm up to get things relaxed and moving before they go out. They go out into the cold, everything kind of constricts, and then they start doing physical labor that is demanding their cardiovascular system to work harder. And that's why a lot of people are, the heart attacks during shoveling snow is a thing. So ginger paste, that could be something that you could take a little bit of that, maybe do a little bit of dancing or jumping jacks, kind of get the blood flowing. Cayenne pepper's a good one. Cayenne capsules, I love to take just one of those a day. That really works to just dilate the blood vessels and keep things moving. A cayenne tincture can stop a heart attack. If somebody, like I keep one in my truck at all times in my emergency kit because if someone has a heart attack and we have to wait on EMT, you better believe I'm putting a shot of cayenne pepper down their throat. And it has brought people out of a heart attack. It is awesome. So yeah, as long as the ginger paste doesn't have a bunch of junk. Yeah.
Do you have in your emergency kit? Do you sell emergency kits?
I don't sell them yet, but I will. I want to answer. That's a great question. I'm going to answer Paula's question here, and then we'll talk about that because that's a great question. So Paula said, "What herbs do you recommend for Hashimoto's?" And I'm glad that you asked this question because this is something to really remember. With something like Hashimoto's, that's a chronic condition. I call these lifestyle ailments. And yes, there are herbs, there are foods that can absolutely help to relieve symptoms and even eliminate the disease altogether. But it's really important that it's not, oh, here's this formula. Oh, here's this one size fits all protocol. So, some of the things I'm going to make some general recommendations that will help. You want to eliminate all artificial fragrances, air fresheners, shampoos, conditioners, perfumes, car fresheners, your laundry detergent, your cleaning supplies. It's a lot at first, but I'm coming up with a program to help people do this because we need it. Or just start with one thing, your laundry detergent and your perfume, knock those out. But Hashimoto's, it's your thyroid, but your thyroid, your lymphatic system, it's all connected. They all play together. And those artificial toxic chemicals just attack your lymphatic system, and which then attacks your whole body. So eliminate those. Try your best to avoid processed sugars and refined carbohydrates. And something I've seen consistently with the people that I work with Hashimoto's, turmeric and ginger capsules really help to relieve the pain and inflammation. And when I say turmeric and ginger capsules, I'm always talking about I take the whole roots. I grind the whole roots, encapsulate them myself. A lot of these supplement companies, you will get turmeric extracts. That means they have concentrated, isolated, made it kind of stronger, more drug-like. You want to be careful with those because plants, again, are like communities. They're these communities of constituents and they all work together. But this Western world we live in, we say, oh man, this one constituent is what's doing the job. So then they take that constituent away from all of its friends. And it does its job differently because it doesn't have the support of the community. And so many supplement companies are doing that. I'm a big believer in the whole herb. There are cases where we need something stronger. But that's also done with a protocol and intentionally. So turmeric and ginger eliminate all the artificial fragrances. That's a must. We are being bombarded by toxins all day, every day. And if there's one place that we need to be able to go to be away from that, it needs to be our home. Our home needs to be our sanctuary. The world is toxic. There's a lot going on. We can't do a whole lot about that, but we can start in our home. Dwayne agrees. Yeah, but that was a great question. And also, you guys always keep in mind, I'm out here a lot with a lot of people, and you would not believe how many times people come up, so what do you have for cancer? And I'm like, listen, if anybody tries to sell you something to that question, they are just trying to sell you something. There's not an herb or a remedy or anything that's just going to cure your cancer. Their lifestyle changes. Health is a lifestyle. I'm going to have that tattooed on my forehead one day because that really, health is a lifestyle. But things like this, again, it can seem overwhelming, but our bodies are amazing. They want to respond quickly. They know what they need to do. And once we start eliminating what's hindering it and adding what's going to support it, your body responds so quickly. So, to Gloria's question, what is in my emergency kit? I'm trying to decide like what tier because I've got like an EMT kit. So we've got tourniquets, we've got all sorts of different bandages, wraps. I've got chest wounds for bandages for sucking chest wounds. I've got life straws. I do recommend that you get those life straws. It is like $80 for 5 of them, but you've got them. You can get like 1,800 gallons. You could stick that straw in a puddle and drink from it if you needed to. So I think that's important. I like to keep yarrow powder for wounds and bleeding. I keep my Warrior of the Woods blend that has burdock, yarrow, red roses, and red clover to help prevent infection or if somebody gets a bit by something. Plantain tincture is really good for that as well. So the yarrow powder, the Warrior of the Woods. I always keep a little bit of castor oil in there. I don't know why, but I do. Magnesium oil, because again, that's just relaxing. I keep something for anxiety. So if people are having panic attacks, I've got the liquid Zen, I've got the wounded healer, I've got just blue vervain by itself. Because you want to also think, okay, what's going on? We've got physical harm. Somebody's physically injured. They're freaking out about it. Their girlfriend's freaking out because they don't know if they're going to make it. We got to assess the situation and see how everybody is and try to calm and de-escalate the situation as quickly and efficiently as possible. Um, what else? I learned recently, like the tourniquet, you want to take it out of its package and have it wrapped in a way with 2 rubber bands where you can quickly just take the rubber bands off, slide it up on whether it's the arm or the leg that's been severed, and get to twisting it. Tourniquets are important. They suck, but if somebody, if their artery's been severed in their legs, you only have a couple of minutes to stop that before they're gone. And then you can pack it with yarrow, bandages. What else do I have? Got so much. Anybody else in here have a first aid kit? What are you keeping it? So again, we're thinking, all right, anxiety, heart attack, right? That cayenne pepper. I didn't mean to keep cayenne pepper always. It's one of the best things. Yarrow powder, something for bug bites, wounds, infections. Like if somebody steps on a rusty nail and we're out in the middle of nowhere and we don't have any medical help, that Warrior of the Woods put in there consistently. Like I would be soaking something and having it so and changing it out every couple hours if I had enough medicine. You can definitely keep some like bacitracin because sometimes things call for that colloidal silver. And that's something, these things are also pretty shelf stable, so they'll last a while. You want to be able to keep a wound clean. Um, Salt, why not, right? Um, so many bandages. And nobody else in here has a first aid kit?
They just don't want to compete with your first aid kit.
It's all love here. There's no competing. Maybe you've got something. Dwayne said let it bleed. Now, when you say let it bleed, Dwayne, let what bleed?
You had mentioned the stepping on a rusty nail. If you do something like that, let it bleed out.
That's a good point. So maybe don't put a
Don't
thing, but
stop it.
definitely I would put that alcohol tincture on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great point. Do you have a first aid kit, Dwayne?
I don't. I don't.
I think I'm really glad you brought that up, Gloria, because I think we should all like that's what I've been playing. I almost want to go get my box. Now I've got like 3 bags just full of it. So much gauze, so many bandages, so much I bought like kind of like little stitches that aren't stitches that you can use. And it doesn't
That's a
hurt.
good one.
Yeah. You know what?
Stitches that don't, yeah, I know what you're talking about. They're like butterfly things.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are great.
We have
Because then
those
it lets the wound breathe.
we had those like silicone bandages. They're like 2 week skins.
Okay.
So like my son, he had like a head injury once, and that was what we used to protect his head from bleeding.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing ever. Like instead of like being able to put stitches on there, that it sealed it in. So
Got this emergency bin
Okay,
here.
wait, I have to interject something.
Yeah.
So I
yes,
don't know if there used to be a TV show called MASH. I don't know if we all remember the TV show called MASH, but
I think I remember my grandma telling me about it.
they were always calling for gel foam, right? Like, what the hell is this gel foam? I like literally cut the side of my thumb off one time. I mean, cut it off. It was gone. So, and then I wrapped it. I had to wrap it super tight so it would stop bleeding. And that night I was like, holy shit, it's wrapped so tight that it's not going to get a circulation. It's going to die. So then I'm like, okay, what am I got to go to the doctor, right? I go to the doctor. I pull the bandage. I told him, I was like, as soon as I pull this off, I mean, it was gone. I was like, as soon as I pull this off, it's going to start bleeding. And he's like, okay. I pulled it off. He took a piece of that gel foam and went, juke, it stop right now. So if we're going to put anything in if I don't know where we're going to find it, we need to find gel foam. It was
Gel foam.
gel foam. It was fucking amazing. Sorry.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, because I sure don't have that. I'm also gonna grab my other bag, but I want to show you guys too. I got a couple little rechargeable flashlights because you never
Yeah.
know, and it's good to have those. Uh,
Top of the list.
I did get one of those radios that you hook up to a car battery just in case. It's not first aid, but you never know. Let me grab my bag. Hold on. All right, and I'll show you guys. This is just the house bag. I've got a bag like half the size that's in the truck with most of like the herbal remedies, but I want to see what else I got in here. So these are those life straws. And again, I did get like the premium ones because I don't want to cheap out on something that might save my life, you know? So if you have to save up, I bought these were now some people have like allergies to these artificially colored ones, and then for the most part, if they know, they'll tell you. But these are a lot more affordable. So I bought a bunch of these, like a box of these. But I also have the ones that are more natural and won't irritate skin. Nobody will have an allergic reaction to these if you had to really bandage it up. Got some emergency blankets. These are things to just think about. I think that we should all be thinking about, like, if we needed to survive, would we be able to survive? What do we need, right? Duct tape. I know, Gloria, I know you're laughing, but it's so true. I think that we should have duct tape. Trash bags too. A lot of
I
survivalists talk about keeping, go ahead.
pull it out. You're like, I got this, and it's great. It's perfect.
What else? Some matchsticks that like, these matchsticks, it could be raining outside and I'll still get fire. And you never know, maybe you have to heat some water to disinfect something if you are lucky enough to have water. I got some water cleansing tablets. These are affordable and they last a long time, and you can just have that. So if you have to collect rainwater, you can drop a tablet in there and make it safely drinkable. Another tourniquet. Now, tourniquets too, another one of those things that you don't want to cheap on, but they're not cheap. So I'm up to 2, but I plan to have more. But and I'll show you. Hold on.
You're like ready for a war zone.
You should see my food stash.
I know. I was like, you haven't even told us about your like your liver stash.
But it's not even liver. I've now freeze dried. So I got a freeze dry because I feel it, you guys. I think we should be safe than sorry. So I have I have about 400 freeze dried eggs, and those are really cool. It's powdered. So you take the eggs, you scramble them up, you lay them in there. They're raw freeze them, freeze dry them, and then 2 tablespoons of the egg powder with 2 tablespoons of water reconstitutes it, and boom, you've got a scrambled egg to eat. I've got chicken, pork chops, beef, lots of vegetables, lots of fruit. And then I went ahead and baked some cookies and put those in there too, because we might need a pick me up, you know? What else? Oh, like wound packing gauze. So you want wound packing gauze with like if it's a deep, deep, deep cut, you want to pack that wound. What else? I got those triangular bandage wraps. Because different parts of the body. So too, I've been taking classes on like how to wrap bandages. You know, there are really awkward places, the feet, the hands, the elbows. And when and sometimes in these situations, you might be the only bit of medical help that that person's going to have for a long time. So you want to make sure, always take your time, do the bandage as tightly and nicely as you can, because you don't know when or if they're going to be able to get that again. And then the more tightly and well done it's wrapped, the less likelihood of dirt getting in there, dirt, crud. So what kind of environment are you in? Is it muddy? Is there flooding? You know? I'm saving up for some gas masks.
But not too tight on the bandage, of course.
Not too tight. Yep. And so you want to be able to kind of like your pinky just a little bit. You want to be able to, I kind of do it like when do dog collars, right? I got to be able to stick 2 of my fingers between there and make sure there's enough space. So with bandages, like if you can tuck your pinky in there, that's good because you don't want it too loose, but you don't want to cut off circulation. Most times, someone's going to be able to tell you, hey, that hurts. I think that's too tight, and communicate with the person as you're doing it. Hey, how does this feel? You know, is that too tight? Do you need a little bit more loose? And then too, always remember, it's better to take your time and do the bandage properly. And it's challenging. A lot of times there's chaos going on. People are freaking out. You've got to keep your calm and do it. Um, I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, you guys get it. CB radio. Let's see what everybody else. Gloves. That's great. I do have gloves. I don't have any I've got some gloves in my truck. I learned that the hard way, you guys. I pulled over on the side of the road one time driving through Florida, and there was a homeless man, and he had got hit in the head with a beer bottle earlier that day, and he had this gaping head wound, and he was just bleeding. And I did not have gloves on me. And so when I told everybody sent me gloves. So I've got a lot of gloves. We are good on gloves. Let's see what everybody else said. Thank you, Victoria. Live long and pro. Yep, Dwayne said water should be the top of your list. Yes, Life Straw. We got a water barrel now. So the Life Straw, the water barrel, the water cleansing tablets, that is the place you should start. Like Dwayne said, that should be the top of your list. I'm even learning how to like collect the salt water from the beach in a way that makes it drinkable. It's really, I will find the video and send it to you. It's this weird thing where you kind of like dig a hole and then you have a tarp you know what I'm talking about? And then you cut a hole in the middle of the tarp and you put like a cup or a collecting bucket down in the hole, and like the condensation or somehow, yeah, from the air drips down and collects in that bowl. It's interesting. It's not the fastest way to drink, but
You,
you know.
you got to build a bunch of them. So basically, if you just have clear plastic, so how that would work is if you just dig a hole in the sand, and you just put clear plastic over it, right? And then put a little pebble in it, right? So now it's gonna sag in the middle. Then now you got your cup underneath. Well, it's gonna draw the moisture from the sand.
Okay.
So it's going to draw the moisture from the sand, and then it's going to condensate on the plastic, and it's going to fall into that cup, and it's not going to be a whole lot. So, but if you make like 6 or 8 of them, then you'll have enough water. But it ain't going to happen real quick.
Yeah, so you want to have your straws, you want to have your water cleansing tablets, but
Yes.
these are things to think about, especially you guys.
Iodine
Why?
to disinfect the water.
Okay. I didn't know that. So do you have like a measurement for that? Like how much you would use?
I mean,
Not much.
internet, the magic
Yep.
of
It's
internet.
something
Yeah.
to
It's like
Google. Yep.
a drop in a chord or something. I don't know.
Let's Google that now, guys, while we
Yeah.
can.
Somebody jump on that.
But these really are important things to think about. Like if and when these systems collapse, what are we gonna do? I have a really good feeling that we're not gonna have to survive for too long. But do you have a week's worth of supplies to support you and your family? Do you have 2 weeks worth of supplies to support you and your family? And I've asked this question a lot. I ask people, and this is one of the foundations that Foraging for Friends was built on. If the grocery stores were to shut down and you did not have access to food, what would you do? And people think they know, well, I'll just go fishing. The beach is right there. Well, you're probably going to get robbed for your fish on the way home, if not there. You got to remember that people are going to be looting the grocery stores. People are going to lose their mind. So the more you're able to stay home, stay out of that, maybe go into that patch of woods behind your house and pick out some edible foods, the better. I bought a crossbow too. Let's see. Tube socks to go with the duct tape, Valerie said. That's hilarious for real. It gets cold. Michelle says she also has emergency blankets, duct tape, and matches. Really, duct tape and trash bags come in handy. They really do. They're just why not? They're cheap. Michelle says she has the Warrior of the Woods. Yep. Let's see. Amy said that's fantastic. Could you share like an inventory once on YouTube? I will work on that. Yeah, I will get that together. Gloves, flashlight, yep. And yeah, flashlights could be used to check pupils. Do I sell my freeze-dried foods? Soon. Soon, you guys. This freeze-dried operation is really exciting. But my biggest plan with this freeze-dried operation is to provide ready-made, shelf-stable, healthy food for single parents. Is my like I'm really excited about that. We're like, and really anybody who needs it. But I do have in mind the kids and how parents are overwhelmed, exhausted, tired, inflamed, and they really do want to feed their children good food, but it's hard enough for them to do what they're already doing. So now, boom, they'll have this jar of ready-made fruits and vegetables. You go out, now you've got some freeze-dried banana, strawberry snacks for the kids. They love that. And so that's one of the things I'm raising money for right now is to buy that food. I want to do my best to source it from farmers markets, but I might have to go to just organic from Publix or Walmart to be giving it away. But regardless, it's going to be organic. It's going to be made with love, and it's going to be way better than McDonald's or Burger King or anything else you'll find in the store. Let's see. Valerie said iodine is great for radiation poisoning. Okay, yep. I remember you telling me that. If going down that rabbit trail, zeolites on chemtrails, although I know you're not big on heavy metal detox, but back to world attacks. It's not that I'm not big on heavy metal detox, it's that most people don't know what they're doing when they're detoxing. And detoxing is dangerous, especially if you don't know what you're doing, which again, most people don't know what they're doing. They're already deficient, their bodies are already weak, and detoxing takes a big toll on the system. So it's more, let's focus on strengthening your body. Let's strengthen your digestion. Let's open up your detoxification pathways before we start bombarding the body with detox things. Because again, it's really hard. Can your body handle it when those metals are released to be excreted? Are your organs strong enough to go through something like that? Unfortunately, most people are not. They're not even hydrated enough to do that. And that's where my soapbox comes in is I'm seeing people that are so sick. They're walking around and their eyes are like this and they're dark because they're depleted. Because they're just detox, detox, detox and not build, build, build. And our body's amazing. It knows how to detox so much that if we give it what it needs, it's going to do most of that work for us. And then what we do is just to help push it a little bit further. That's it. But people are pushing their bodies too hard. And I will always remind you that the detox industry is a $1.4 billion industry. They're making billions of dollars by scaring you into thinking your body is sick and you need this product and it's going to fix it all instead of addressing what's making it sick in the first place. So that's my soapbox. All right. Oh, this was great, you guys. This was fun. And I think I will get together some literature to just I think we all should. And again, if it's something you have to save up for, there are just certain things you don't want to cheap on. Don't cheap out on your life straws. Don't cheap out on your water. Don't cheap out on your tourniquet. Bandages, if your family doesn't have skin irritations, you can get away with that cheap multicolored box of wraps, If you have somebody that has a latex allergy or an allergy to the bandages, all right, splurge a little bit for them. Yeah, Dwayne?
So there's a saying for a go bag. And basically that's what you're talking about is, it's a
Yep.
go bag. It's like, oh shit, we got to go somewhere and stay alive. So there's a saying called one is none and two is one. So two flashlights because one of them's going to break or the battery's going to go dead. So now I at least have one. And then two sets of bandages because I'm going to use one now. I have one. So two is one. No, one is none and two is one. It's just
I'm
the same.
writing that down.
Yeah.
That's great, Dwayne. One is
Um,
none, two is one.
one. Yeah. So in other words, have a
I,
backup for your backup.
I think, all right, I got to get a backup flashlight.
Oh yeah. If you only got one flashlight and I'm telling you, that's like light is like on the top of my list now. Um, so you were talking about, if I'm going to go fishing and someone's going to steal my food. Okay, if it gets to that point, then we're in real trouble. Okay, so we're talking now. Now I have a suggestion for trade items: the flashlights. Buy 50 Bic lighters. You know what a cigarette lighter is going to be worth to someone if the shit hits the fan? Because people don't know how to, I mean, I can light a fire. People don't know how to light a fire. So something as simple that trade items, if that's something you might want to think about adding.
I love that. Yeah, I know because I've got that. I've got medicine and I've got supply.
Yes, okay,
Yep.
you have. But it's like,
But I think that's great for everybody else to remember, like, what can you trade? And
what can you trade? So if I have three lighters and I'll give you three lighters for that fish kind of thing. I don't, you know what I mean? But
yeah, yeah.
actually no, because I have one lighter and you owe me three fish because you can't even cook your fish without my lighter.
And people can do that. They really can. You want to be prepared because when it gets like that, people can be ruthless and it's just
Well, yeah.
the way
Well,
it is.
the shit hits the fan scenario, and it's like gold and silver. I can't eat gold and silver,
That.
right? No. So medicine, yeah, lighters, food.
Skills, right? Oh, you need help building shelter. You've got
Yeah.
elderly people with you. Well, I've got muscle. What can you
Oh,
feed
I
me?
got tools.
Yeah, tools.
Yeah.
What can you feed me? What skills do you have? What skills can you start? Can you keep calm when there's chaos and somebody's wounded because maybe the person with the supplies can't? Like what can you offer? And I've been meditating on this and I'm going to share about it soon, but it is the law of nature is God, and the law of God is nature. And nature, this is the realm we live in. It's the natural world, and there are laws of nature, and you either adapt or you die. And when stuff hits the fan, and we're no longer as civilized as we once were, but instead, it's nature now. It's eat or be eaten. What can you contribute to survive? Because every species out there, every animals, every pack, you contribute to the pack or you do not make it. And nature doesn't care about our feelings, so these are hard conversations to have, hard thoughts to think about, but it's reality. And it doesn't hurt to even have half a plan, a little something, something, because most people don't even have a clue. Let's see. I'm getting the dogs hyped up. I'm ready to go now. And that's why too, like, you also want to make sure that you can protect your supplies. What's the point of having them if somebody with something a gun can come take them from you, you know? Me, if they were to try to do that, well, I do have my crossbow, got some explosives, and I also have, hey, 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 I've got skills. I've got skills. I can help. I'm very valuable. Don't kill me. Don't take my food. I can help. It's worth something. Dogs, yep, dog. And it just depends. Some people have these little dogs that are going to do nothing but give away your position. They gotta go eat them. I'm glad I'm with y'all. Can't hear
Hold
you, Dwayne.
on. Okay, hold on. Giving away your position. Okay, we're just talking about the flashlights. It's dark out and you think there's a bad guy, and you're going to take your flashlight and you're going to go and you're going to look around for the bad guy. Do not do that. Turn the fucking light off because as soon as you turn that light on, it's like, bink, here I
Here I am.
am. Yeah, no. So anyway, I had to, sorry.
No, I love that. I learned that at a young age.
I
Somebody
had
taught
to
me at a very young
interject.
age. And it was kind of messed up because I was scared of the dark and I'd keep a nightlight near me. And my stepfather told me, he said, well, think about that nightlight is everything in the dark can see you, but you can't see it. So I cried. Um, Michelle said, I'm glad I'm with y'all to plan our Hunger Game in case of yeah. Yeah, it is stuff to think about. It's not comfortable. It's not fun. It doesn't feel good, but it's reality. And unfortunately, these systems have been designed to keep us as dependent on them as possible, to make us just hand all of our power away. And having a plan is having some confidence. It helps to take some of that fear away. Like, okay, I don't have nothing. Sovereign. Yep. Sovereignty. Sovereignty requires responsibility, accountability, effort, responsibility. Sovereignty requires facing and addressing the things that don't feel good, that are uncomfortable in your own mind, your body, and your life. Some of my friends, they get on to me because I'm just not soft enough and I'm just too tough. And it's just like, hey, you got to rely on yourself. Nobody's coming to save us. You got to pick yourself up or stay there. So I'm never going to say, oh, just stay there. No, I'm going to say, come on, let's go. Get up. We must survive. But more than that, baby, we want to thrive. Okay. And I think that is thriving, knowing so like, wow, the world's eating raccoons. I'm going to be eating beef and veggies. You know what I mean? Like that's thriving. My refrigerator is filled with the best food. That's thriving. And my body feels good. I wake up in the morning, I say, let's go. And I also, when my body says I don't want to go, I take a nap. That's also thriving. Having the ability to rest when you're tired. That's awesome. Michelle said, my dependency stopped 5 years ago. No health insurance, and I'm okay with that. I'm grateful to know you and me to keep me going. Exactly. I haven't had health insurance in a very, very long time. And there are some times where I'm like, ooh, should I get this checked out? But I've just learned, all right, let me tune into my body. What's it asking for? Okay, I haven't been eating that great. Let me get back on that game. I've been going nonstop for like 3 weeks. Let me take a few days off. Um, there's little things like that. Learn to listen to your body. And there are times, there's a woman who's usually in here and she'll tell you, I think, one of two people out of hundreds of people. She called me. She told me what was going on. I said, hey, you need to go to the hospital right now. And I never say that, but she needed to go to the hospital. Her liver was failing. And she, to this day, is just like, thank you, because the doctor said it was bad. And so there are times. But for the most part, what if that hospital's not there to go to? And think about that too, you guys. I mean, if you're on medications that you're dependent on, do you have a backup plan? How much of a stash do you have? What would you do if you didn't have access to those pharmaceuticals? Because that's reality. What if you're dependent on oxygen or a life-giving machine and there is no electricity? I bought a generator with a solar power panel that will hold enough power to keep my deep freezer going. And again, these are things that I planned, saved up for, worked towards. And so it starts now. We don't even know what's happening, but I don't know. The world's not going to end tomorrow. No, you have time and use that time wisely. I think this was awesome. Anybody have any questions? Dwayne, thank you for all of your input. That was cool. Trying to think of just anything else. What are your dogs going to eat, right? So the first two whole beef livers that I bought, they're in the food store for my dogs, should they need them. Um, Water, food, warmth, fire.
Yeah, it grows really good here. So like I've got so many papayas. I get probably 40, 50 papayas a year, like from one tree. And so you can have multiple trees and then you're set with papayas.
Great point, Gloria, because listen, you guys, you can, even if
Grow
maybe
your
you
food.
don't have a big yard, but you have a couple spots that get sun, get some big pots, grow some food that you can dehydrate and store. Potted gardens are real. You could grow kale, dehydrate it,
I-
store it away.
I'd like to ask a question.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to cut down on my THC level, and I'm doing pretty good. I've gone over an hour and a half, and I haven't smoked a joint. And I'm trying to either quit or really cut down. So I was wondering if anybody had any suggestions or anything I could use. I'm not really into gummies, and so I don't know.
No, that's a great question. So there are some options. There are herbs like lavender, damiana. You can honestly just Google herbal smoke blend. And then you can, if if it's that smoking that, you want to get the THC out, but you want that hand to mouth, that smoking, you can make herbal joints and smoke those instead.
Like some catnip.
You can smoke catnip. Yes,
I
you can.
know it. I tried it.
I also I use sage. So like I don't smoke the sage, but just the process of burning it makes me feel like, oh, like you're burning a joint, you're burning some sage. So
Ooh, I like that one. I actually have some, and
I've used
I've
the
used
sage.
it.
You said you've
yeah,
used the sage, Dwayne?
Yeah, yeah.
And
When I
purifies
was
it.
smoking all the time.
And something you can
You're
do
so
too,
sick.
there's a ritualistic aspect to the
Yeah.
smoking of the marijuana, right? You're rolling it, you're sitting there, you're smoking it. So what ritual can you replace that with? Maybe you light your sage, you burn it, you put it in a fire safe bowl, let it burn. You focus on some breath work, right? Some
Oh,
positive
okay.
affirmation.
And can I interject? So I
Please.
used to smoke weed every day too. Um, I microdosed with psilocybin and the tiniest little microdose you could possibly think of. And you're like, no way that could possibly do anything. And I did that for a couple, 3 months, like 2 days on and 3 days off, or 3 days on, 2 days off for a couple of 3 months. And it's like I only smoke weed now because I'm like, I'm going to go chop wood or something, or go dig in the garden and it makes my body feel good. But I used to smoke every day and I don't.
Yeah, microdosing can change your life in a lot of
It
ways. I definitely
and I
recommend
and
working with a professional at
yeah.
first. At first. Got to make that recommendation. Uh,
Yeah, and the first several times I did it was in ceremony. So yes.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. But there are a lot of companies now that do make products that you can take in. You don't even really realize, get that trippy feeling. You just get that subtle energetic shifts in your chemistry to help bring things back to harmony. So I love the idea of microdosing. Other mushrooms like reishi, super stress reducing. It'll help to relieve some stress. Lion's mane will help to restore your nervous system from smoking over time. You got more, Dwayne?
Yeah, 5-HTP. So actually my psychologist had or a psychiatrist had mentioned 5-HTP and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And I looked it up and it's just like a supplement thing. And it's like I started taking that. I didn't stop when I was smoking weed. It helped. I don't know what 5-HTP, what its, pathways are, but it certainly helped.
Yeah, Victoria, you can't take that because of what I know.
Okay.
But but the most, a lot of people can. You just 5-HTP, there's certain medications that you don't want to mix it with. There are certain like mood disorders that you want to be careful with that. Some people can take 5-HTP in the morning and be fine. Some people need to take it at night. But it's like a straight it's not a neurotransmitter, but it's a precursor to the neurotransmitters. Yeah. Yeah. Michelle said that's her goal this year. She has an acre to plant your gardens. Yes. Tina said everyone needs a Dwayne next door. I'm going to put you in the spotlight, Dwayne. You guys, there was a hurricane that came through here. I forget which hurricane it was, and I didn't sleep for like 24 hours. That hurricane took half my carport, but before it took half my carport, it was just banging. My whole little house I live in was lifting and dropping. Dwayne, the hurricane was not even over yet, drives his car over the freaking bridge to my house and helps me collect all of this metal that was all over the neighborhood. Part of it was sticking in somebody's roof and helped me get it to a place that was secure so it wouldn't come through the windows. I agree. I think everybody needs a Dwayne next door. He's just a good, reliable guy. He's a good friend. Now, we've been friends for years now. I really appreciate Dwayne. Michelle, you have an acre. Get to planting, baby. I decided to postpone my trip to Vietnam because I want a garden. There are things I want to do. There are things I want to make sure I have in place. And I just feel the call that right now is the time to make sure we get those things in place. So it's about to be spring. Um, get your gardens going. And again, don't overthink it. Sure, do we want organic? Yes. Do we want all of the things? Yes. But what can we realistically afford? And I'm here. If you guys want to talk about that, tell me what your budget is. We'll figure out what your best options are that aren't adding toxins, but also aren't breaking your bank account. If you're not sure if you can grow, start with a potted plant and see how you do with it before you go investing in a whole garden. All right. I think this was good. Any more questions? Oh, I
Can you
think
really see me?
I can't see you now. What did Dwayne? Dwayne said, go online and find a 10 list for go bag. Yep, that's a great place to start, you guys. Just Google, 10 list for a go bag and see. And people are going to have different things. This is so much of how I learned is I spend hours on YouTube. And there are so many cool people on YouTube. Also, Commonwealth Herbalism with Katya and Rin, they've got some really good disaster relief courses. And the cool thing about their courses is you pay for it once. If you wait till December or August, all their courses go 20% off. You will find their website at communitynourishment.org/resources, Commonwealth Herbalism with Katya and Rin. But YouTube, free resource, totally worth it. What's up, bud? I see you. I see you, bud. Let's see. Valerie said, yeah, for you, garden first. Kind of crazy times for going out of the country. I know, and I'm trying not to let fear hold me back because I'm not fear-based, but I did have some realizations that I was just like, all right, pretty sure it'll still be there in November. That'll be fine. Because we're always up to something, man. It's never a good time.
I
It's
got
always the right
I got
time.
something I want to share.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're going to want a knife for your go bag. So what to look for? So if the blade can rust, then you can strike a flint with it. So you want a flint rod in your go bag. And if the blade can rust, you can strike a flint with it. Now, so notice it's hard to see, but it's called full tang. So the blade, you can see the steel goes all the way to the end, and then the handle is riveted. The light's shitty, but the handle is riveted through the steel. So you don't want something that's going to break right here. So the steel goes all the way through the handle and goes all the way to the end. So this is a full tang. It's called a full tang. You want a full tang knife. So, and then again, one is none and two is one. So this is an okay, it's okay bush knife. I want to get a good one, but I I just want to, the biggest thing I want to say is full tang. You want to find something
That's
with
so
full
important.
tang, right? And you
Yeah.
want something you can beat on to chop wood or whatever. That's it. Anyway,
Oh, I'm so glad that because we didn't even think of that like until now. So thank you for that. And yeah, you don't want a flimsy knife. I love that. You just brought to my attention that I don't have a good knife in any of my bags. I've got a decent pocket knife. I always have a pocket knife, but and I have a machete, but I want different sizes. Two is one, so I've got one knife.
well, a pocket knife is good, yes, but this is a bush knife, and you want a sheath,
Bush
so it's got
knife.
a sheath. So bush knife.
Oh, right on. Thank you for that. And it's making me wonder, darn, what else are we? Wool socks. I've got some wool socks that I'm saving because on the cold nights, wool will help keep you warm. You want to think, okay, how am I going to stay warm? What climate are you in? What season is it? Are you going to fire gives away your position sometimes, so you can't always have a fire.
And the wool, so even if you get wet, wool will keep you warm. So I don't know if you've ever heard the term is cotton kills. There's
Okay.
there's a term, cotton kills. If you get wet with cotton on and it's cold, 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 even if it's not that cold, you will get super cold because it'll wick the heat out of you. I I don't I don't wear cotton. I'm seriously, everybody's like cotton, 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 it's good for you. Yeah, I get it, but I live in Florida and I'm sweaty and I have all modern materials. So modern materials will keep you warm if it's wet, and wool
Mm-hmm.
will keep you warm if it's wet. Cotton kills.
I love
It's a
that.
term.
I love that. No, that makes absolute sense. It does. And like times like this, like, yeah, like I got rid of all of my synthetic stuff except for my jackets, except for the things to keep me warm. Polyester works wonders for that. It protects you more, it keeps you warm. And if we're at that point, we're not worried about when wearing natural fibers or not.
Well,
Push.
but the rest of my lifestyle is so clean that I don't worry about the unnatural fibers because there is no artificial fragrances in my house. There's no artificial fragrances on my body. There's no artificial sweeteners or food coloring or artificial flavors that go in this thing. They don't
Yep.
go in this thing. Yeah.
I'm glad you make that point because that really is like some people get surprised when they learn that I roll up my own tobacco. And, yeah, maybe tobacco is not the best for you, but I have a very strong foundation. My life is clean as it can get, other than my tobacco and my occasional pizza from Bronx House because I love them. Uh,
I
you
do have
know.
occasional pizza.
Yep, I can't help it. Bronx House, though, they use sourdough. They source their ingredients local and everything's organic. So that's what I really love about Bronx House. Um, and keep that in mind, you guys, because it's not about being perfect, but it's about doing your best. You also don't want to cook in aluminum or metal cooking utensils. You want to avoid plastic cooking utensils. You want stainless steel, copper, but even copper. I've watched this woman almost killed herself with copper because she had a copper water bottle and she had a copper water pitcher. And she just kept, and her body temperature dropped so low that she had to go to the hospital. She almost died. So copper, yes, copper's good for you. I prefer to wear it than to consume it. But you if you have a copper pan, you can cook in it.
So
Dwayne,
walk in your kitchen right now and take every fucking Teflon pan you have and throw it in the fucking garbage.
throw it out.
I'm
Throw it out.
sorry for the colorful language. Yeah.
I know when I post this later, I'm gonna say, do not watch with your kids.
I know it.
But we're all adults here. But he makes a really good point. Those Teflon, they kill you. They are every time you cook, you are releasing metals into your food. Same with too, if you have mercury fillings in your mouth, then one of the best things you can do is save up. It's not cheap, but you can save up. Because the thing with the mercury fillings is every time you drink a hot beverage, you're releasing mercury into your mouth every single time. And when you do go to get these removed, you want to do your best to find a biological dentist, someone who knows what they're doing, because a good dentist will have more than one person there. They will have circulation in the room. They will have themselves protected, protection around you, and they will be sucking the fumes while they are removing the mercury. Because when they remove the filling, it's going to release mercury. And then that stuff gets absorbed. Every time you're drinking a hot beverage, it's released and it's absorbed through the roof of your mouth into your bloodstream. There's a book, Whole Body Dentistry. It's a thick book, but it was loaded with good information. So I want to say I got 3 mercury fillings taken out for about $900. Could be worse. I can't hear you, Dwayne.
I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. So yeah, send
This
me a
was
text.
like 5 years ago,
Yeah,
but
but 900 then is okay. 1800 now. I can swing 1800. So
it's
yeah,
worth it. Um,
text me the dude.
I will. I will. Yep, it's worth it because there's only like one good biological dentist around here. And for everybody else who's it used to be called Tarantola, but now it's My Harmony Dentistry. But there are more popping up now because people are starting to realize that the dentistry industry, whatever, has been very, very toxic from the things that they use. That's like people keep telling me go to Mexico to get your front tooth pulled out and a new one put in. I don't have any guarantee of what materials they're using. And if I come home and something goes wrong with that, nobody's liable. I can't go to the dentist that did my work and get help. So when it comes to dentist work, it sucks. Dental insurance, I had dental insurance for years. They don't cover the good ones. Now I would get like $30 back after spending a couple grand. Like what? But yeah, so anybody check to see if you have mercury fillings. You'll know they're colored fillings, they're silver fillings. And if you do, just work towards getting them out.
Is this
Yeah,
the one in World Golf Village?
yep,
My Harmony Dentistry?
yep,
Okay, thank you.
yep. And like I said, I think they were cheaper before. I want to say I got 2 fillings. They charged me $1,500. Um, but they're not putting toxic stuff in there. So I really appreciate that. And I have to get my front tooth removed and replaced. and it's going to be like 5 grand, but it's going to be good work. They use like your bones, your tissue to help prevent your body from attacking the implant that they put in. And that's important. That's like root canals. I'm considering getting a root canal, but what happens when you get a root canal is now you've left a dead tooth in your mouth. And our body is designed to target things that are dead or that it doesn't need and attack it until it gets rid of it. And that's my problem. This tooth's already dead and the body's trying to attack it. And the only thing the root canal will do is get that infection out of there, fill that a little bit, and hopefully prevent it. We shall see. Dental work is a headache, literally. All right, you guys, I
Yeah, I
feel
had
like
to
this
go
was
to the
great.
dental school in Jacksonville.
You did what?
I had to go to the dental school in Jacksonville.
That is an option. Like the wildflower clinic here, like if you have a really bad tooth infection, you need something and you don't have the money that they're asking, go to one of these. Get it done. It's better to get it done than to have active infections or rotten teeth or anything like that. Wildflower clinic is one of them. Thought you were supposed to wear high frequency cotton only. Nope. Now I do
I
prefer linen, and cotton's
know.
great.
I
Um,
know.
but like Dwayne said, and Dwayne has a strong body. Dwayne's taking care of his body. He does so much that yeah, if you get caught out there, what if he's not home and he's out and about and then stuff hits the fan and it's raining, it's monsoon season in Florida and he's soaked in cotton. At the very least, that's a good idea too. If you have space in your vehicle, keep one of your first aid kits there. Keep an extra set of clothes. Keep a nice polyester jacket, some trash bags and duct tape.
Think about if you have to walk home. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. If you're driving an hour away, think about having to walk home
In the rain.
in the rain, whatever. And
Yep.
so you got to think about shoes, you got to think about what you're wearing, and you got to think about what's going to keep you alive. So yeah,
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Because if it is raining and you don't have the jacket and then you catch pneumonia, you make it home and everything's fine, then you catch pneumonia. And yeah, we know the
or at
rest.
least have those, like you showed the emergency blankets, at least that, at least you got like a poncho kind of thing.
Yep. I'm gonna put one of those in my truck, actually. I don't have one in there.
And
Renee,
don't think
go
I'm
ahead.
perfect either.
Yeah, none of us, you guys. And that's the thing. It's not about being perfect. It's just about doing your best and being realistic. And again, having those tough conversations with yourself, doing the uncomfortable things that you have to do to thrive, to be vital. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. We wouldn't be as sick as we are as a nation if this stuff was easy. Shoes, yep. And just one thing at a time. So to wrap this up, all right, so we know with the go bags, you want water, you want shelter, you want warmth, you want some first aid stuff. And then in real life, you want to eliminate all the artificial fragrances. If that's the first thing you do, perfume, air fresheners, laundry detergent. My favorite brand for laundry detergent, if you want it clean, but you still want that smell good, is Zum, Z-U-M. You can get it at most Publixes, Winn-Dixie, definitely on Amazon. Um, I used to use the Dr. Bronner's cast iron soap, but now I just get an off-brand version of that. There's no need to pay for the name brand to wash all my dishes. You could wash your clothes with that. I wash my dogs with that. I make my cleaning product. I make a strong tea of red roses and sage, and I make a strong tea. That stuff soaks overnight, and then I combine that in jars, half vinegar, half tea, a little bit more vinegar than tea, and I clean my mirrors, my floors, my counters with all of that. The sage is antimicrobial. Not a lot of people know that about sage, white sage, especially the smoke. When you burn the smoke, you could have a wound, and if you burn that smoke over the wound, it will help to keep that wound from getting infected. And sage has a 24-hour residual effect. So when you burn it in a room, you're cleaning the air of pathogenic microbes, and that smoke sticks to the wall for 24 hours. So any pathogens that come in contact with it are also eliminated. Um, what else? Shampoo and conditioner, that's a tough one for me. I barely wash my hair. So if anybody has a suggestion for good shampoo and conditioner, but you just want, hey, paraben free, fragrance free, or at least, non-artificial fragrance free. And then your cooking stuff. Don't store hot food in plastic containers because that plastic expands, your food absorbs it. Yep. Don't cook in the Teflon, in aluminum. So many people cook on aluminum foil. When you cook with or on aluminum foil, even if you put hot food on aluminum foil, it expands and your food absorbs that aluminum. You eat it, it goes to your brain. No aluminum. Stainless steel, cast iron. I love like my Corning cookware. I want to say it's porcelain. Um, what else? Copper if you've got to. Yeah. Try to eliminate as much plastic as possible. Don't buy plastic bottles. Listen, you are better off getting yourself a Brita water filter and putting stickers on there and writing on it than purchasing bottled water. A lot, and you want to remember these waters were distributed. They were carried somewhere. You don't know what heat they were exposed to. You ever drove past a gas station and seen those stacks of water bottles sitting out in the sun? That has just leached plastic into those water bottles. You're contributing to waste and you're drinking even more microplastics. Where the Brita water filter, they usually make them BPA free. You can refill it, and you also don't know what's in that water that they're bottling. Yeah, seed oils, like Dwayne just said here, seed oils, there's a website and it's on my resources page on Community Nourishment. It's like Seed Oil Rebellion, and it's really cool. They have a lot of links, a lot of videos, a lot of education, and you can share that with people that you know. I'm going to share that on Monday in the next email. Renee said, Sage is powerful. Glass containers, I need to order them and replace all my plastic Tupperware. Yep. And slowly but surely, right? Like, if you can only afford to get one glass container right now, that's great. That's one more than what you had. Get rid of a plastic one when you do that. Slowly but surely, you guys, if you have the means to do more, do it. If you don't, make a plan. What's most important? Life straws, water tablets, eliminating the chemicals, investing in some new products. And you're already spending the money anyways. A couple of bucks for a nicer product is way better than the what you'll lose down the line because your health deteriorates. Bottom line, you want to think ahead. What can you sacrifice? Something I did, I suggest, especially if money is an issue, I'll bet that you're spending money on things that you really don't need to spend money on. And you keep a journal. You write down every dollar you spend and what you spent it on. And at the end of every month, you categorize it. You'll see, oh man, I spent $300 at the gas station this month. Why? What did I get? How can I buy that in bulk instead of buying it from the gas station? You know what I mean? You start saving money that way. Do you want to add something, Dwayne? Oh. But yeah, and that is, money definitely comes into it. But if we all realistically think of where we spend our money, we can make some changes. Sovereignty and liberation require sacrifice. If we don't want to be of this world, then we can't be of this world. Okay. Yeah, Dwayne is a water guy. He works for the city water company. All right, everybody. I think that's for real. That's it. This was awesome. This is one of my favorite ones so far, man. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'll let you know when it's up and recorded. I love you so much, and I will see you next month.
Thank you,
Bye.
Cameron.
Bye.
Bye.